welcome everyone to another live stream. Please put in the chat if everything looks alright, sounds alright, if the mic is good, not too loud and all that jazz. Thank you all for coming. I do appreciate all of you being here. In today's video we're going to cover the general charts. We're going to look at macro, and I thought we would look at the Furu Finance. No hate to this guy, obviously he's a new streamer. He's really consistent, streaming every day. No flack to him at all. They are a bit new in the Hex ecosystem, but we welcome them here. So we're gonna see if technical analysis does work at all, and if it's just simply astrology for men. So let's play this video and see what they say.
Freepulse.io at freepulse.io tweeted the Bitcoin stock to flow model alias 100K laser eyes failed.
Man.
Yeah, that was Willy Woo, right? That's what people have to realize, that indicators work until they don't, and the longer they work for, the less likely it is to keep on working. And it's like the silliest thing, and that's why what you really see is like, what I don't like is people redraw the lines, and then they say based off that, like, okay, now these are the new lines, and like this is what we're following. It's like,
so generally you need to one touch point is random, two touch points are a coincidence, and 3 touch points are a trend, right? Let's quickly pull up the S&P. So you need to know what you're talking about before you make rather foolish statements. So you've got your first touch, that doesn't tell you anything. Second touch is a coincidence. The third touch, now you have a trend. Look at the first touch. You guys know that this has been here for quite a while. I'm not redrawing anything, and in fact all it is the magnet that grabbed that top, right? And it hasn't moved at all. You need 2 touches, pretty much what I'm telling you, for lines to be drawn. And when there's one touch, people do generally draw it, and doesn't mean people are trying to fake you out or anything like that.
you have to redraw the line. Doesn't that nullify your thesis of the indicator? And what is to stop you from continuing to redraw lines, like you see with the Bitcoin regression rainbow, and you even see that with, I hate to say it, but you see it with the Hex regression rainbow. Just indicators do.
This indicator or this chart definitely has been invalidated before, right? But what about all of this previous range that it in fact worked, right?
Not work. Another thing I'd say is that I used to watch Benjamin Cowan a lot, and I think he has a lot of good things to say, but he has also a lot of not good things to say. And what I don't like is that, like, he has all these indicators, and if you're
Benjamin Cowan has in fact not even called the bottom yet. So he's pretty much been right the whole bull market thus far.
If you have to rely on
bear markets,
they all telegraph different results, different futures, and one of them's going to be right, and others are going to be wrong. So if it's a different one that's right every time, doesn't that mean that indicators are just a bunch of trash? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean it. I mean, it's good for making money.
So I've pointed out bullish and bearish divergences pretty accurately in the past, especially when the most recent one was when Hex was at 2.5 cents. And I said that we've got bullish divergences. It does look like we have a reversal, although the market does not. The fundamental analysis will say no, it needs to go further down, and it in fact it reversed, right?
Like,
the Furu Finance indicator though is #1.
Yeah, dude, if there was an indicator that worked on the school group, I would totally sell it. I'm all for capitalism. But I'm an honest person, unfortunately, in some ways.
Yeah.
And indicators are just trash. What do you think about indicators?
Dude, I don't know. I enjoy watching like TA
I mean, indicators are not trash.
people and stuff because it's like fun and exciting. But
I'm gonna play a bit around and show you guys what the OpenAI chat bot tells you about technical analysis. And this is unbiased, obviously, because he simply scours the internet of what he has learned in the past. So this is not me doctoring this search results in any way. This is simply the OpenAI giving you honest answers of what he has learned, right?
Oh man, I mean, I think what you said is pretty accurate. I like something I've learned is like literally when Richard Hart called the top on the day, around that same time.
Richard Hart called the top with technical analysis, right? He drew a parabola, and when the chart fell out of the parabola, he called the top.
All my family members were like, "Yo, should I buy some crypto? Like, how should I buy crypto?" Oh. And now, like in hindsight, I'm like, "Oh man, you know." And now, like,
not only that, I mean, this dude. Now we've looked at his chart previously. Like, this guy's chart, this guy's technical analysis has been right for hundreds of years, literally for hundreds of years. And Gantt theory, which is also more than 100 years old. This guy is calling a recession in 2023 back in 1872 just by going off cycles, right?
The same family members are like, messaging me like, how are your crypto investments and all this stuff.
This is a good thing to ask. Is technical analysis a projection of human emotion? And we'll go through all of those questions one by one that I asked it already. Is technical analysis a projection of human emotion?
And so I don't know, I think maybe like the no coiner friends and family like indicator is a good indicator, like sentiment, full sentiment. But at the end of the day, it's like everything's so liquid in crypto. It's like,
so sentiment, right?
how can you predict some random guy such as
That is what I always say. Technical analysis is simply sentiment on a chart.
computer decides to like dump his whole bag? You just can't, like, it's impossible. So
Yeah.
I think there are trends and there's patterns, and it's fun to like, it's like astrology for men or whatever. So I can,
So it's astrology for men, right?
it's fun to be like, ooh, whoa, look at the pattern, ooh, maybe.
It's literally sort of like it looks. I don't know. Everyone wants to be in control, and when it comes to
Right.
the markets, it's something that you're not in control of. It's like so I guess people, it's just desperation.
So I've already asked that, do professional investors use technical analysis? We'll get to that
Larry,
now.
it's
Let's
not
just
really
finish this
there.
video.
I think people will do stupid things for for this false cushion. But I don't like. I mean, I like it. It is fun. Like per se, like I can't help. I succumb to the tendency of watching people do technical analysis from time to time, even though I think it's complete garbage. So I can't say I'm not guilty of looking into it sometimes. But what I don't like is that it does encourage people to try time
Right.
and
Yeah.
So it says also it encourages trading. Maybe we can ask the AI that question as well. So one of the most richer men that has ever lived in JP Morgan says millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. So funnily enough that they used that quote when one of the richest men who got extremely rich off the market says that they do in fact use technical or astrology, right? Secondly, Mr. George Sturge has predicted the crashes and the peaks accurately for the past 100 years, just with simple trend analysis. It's just 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years for your tops, then 7 years, 11 years, 3 years, 7 years, 11 years, 9 years. Sorry, that's a 9. It's just written very ugly. 7, 11, 9, 7, 11, 9. So just taking past numbers and projecting it into the future is very much technical analysis. Okay, so let's see what the AI says. Why do amateur investors believe that technical analysis does not work? So amateur investors often believe that technical analysis does not work because they lack the necessary knowledge and experience to understand the complexities of the stock market and to accurately interpret patterns. Additionally, many amateur investors make decisions based on emotions rather than logic or data, which hinders their ability to properly analyze their investments. So he says that we like to have control, and I think it's the exact opposite. Because we want control, we want to believe that there isn't a way to know what the charts tell you. So exactly the opposite of what he means, right? Then I asked him, do professional investors use technical analysis? And all hedge funds do use it, right? Yes, professional investors often use technical analysis to gain insight about the market and inform their investment decisions. Professional investors use technical analysis to identify trends, set entry and exit positions, and evaluate the overall risk associated with a particular investment. You can see pretty much very good trends in the market just by putting this. This is the interest rates, right? Let's put up years. ES1. So this is the S&P that I'm going to overlay onto the, we should do it the other way around. We should overlay the interest rates onto ESI. Let's put on the interest rates here. US interest rates. ENTR. There we go. Let's go down to the weekly. So when interest rates are low, you have stock market going up. When it's high, you have a dump. When it starts it's interestingly enough also when the Fed starts lowering interest rates, you get a dump. So what I'm trying to say is you can simply look at trends in the past. Like this is data that shows you what happened in the past. Another one here is when they started lowering the rates, you get, or started stop tightening, you get your COVID dump. And then when they finally turned the money printer on, you had the COVID dump. And then when interest rates were low, you had a massive rally. And then again now they started raising rates, price went down. So you see trends in the market, and that's simply what technical analysis is. There's different types, right? So professionals definitely do use technical analysis. It does not really matter about what your opinion is, they do. So to counter their narrative, fundamental analysis. Now I asked them, why doesn't fundamental analysis work? Because you guys know that I'm of the opinion that fundamentalists don't make money and it doesn't work at all. So fundamental analysis doesn't always work because fundamental factors are very difficult to predict and can change very quickly. So when we look at the dollar top, let's just really take the interest rates. Up here, literally at the top, the news was that the European Union, the euro is dead, the Great British Pound is going to zero. Like literally all of the worst news was literally at the top, right? Where technical analysis told you that with this W down here, the higher lows, and finally the break of this W told you that the dollar has strength and that everything else is going down. So long before the news, and the news got you wrecked, the news told you that the dollar was going to gain in value. Long before the fundamental news told you that danger is ahead, right? They got you to take this trade right up here. Many investors have a hard time interpreting and understanding the data that fundamental analysis provides. Furthermore, there may be other market factors that cannot be identified through fundamental analysis, which can lead to inaccurate predictions and poor investment decisions, including billionaires and millionaires paying the news to spread fake news, right? So is technical analysis a projection of human emotion? While technical analysis can take into account human emotion and market sentiment, it is not a direct projection of human emotion. Technical analysis looks at historical data patterns to make predictions about the future price movements, whereas human emotions are often harder to assess and predict. So human emotions does play a role. That's where we get the greed and fear and greed cycle. The fear and greed cycle, right? Is technical analysis astrology for men? No, technical analysis is not astrology for men. Technical analysis is a data analysis technique used to identify potential trends in the stock market and to inform you of investment decisions. Unlike astrology, there is a scientific basis for technical analysis which relies on the evaluation of historical data and established patterns. Does technical analysis encourage trading? Yes, technical analysis can encourage trading since it provides insight and signals that may use to be informed trading decisions. Technical analysis can help identify entry and exit points as well as set stop losses and take profit levels, which in turn can lead to more successful trade. So we'll give them that, right? They are in fact incentivizing trading. But that is where personal responsibility comes into the equation, right? You are responsible for your own decisions, and you cannot control human behavior. It's not your responsibility, right? And if you're telling people not to trade, you are in fact giving them financial advice, right? So you need to manage your own risk and come up with your own strategies, right? Buying and holding has worked very well for some people, especially if you got in early. But then you had to have an understanding of Bitcoin and what do you call that? Coding and good financial background and a little bit knowledge of conspiracy theories as well, I would say. So no hate to Furu Finance. I like his content. I watch his live streams, but I think he's wrong. And funnily enough, this video, this short video, got a lot less views than any of his other videos, of his short videos. Almost 3 times more. So people aren't really taking him seriously there. But either way, go subscribe to his channel. Check him out. Watch his live streams. So let's do a little bit of technical analysis, seeing as it doesn't work. Let me just remove. Also, the 18-year property cycle plays out perfectly every time. So I think it's wrong, but let's get into the charts. Let's do a bit of astrology as well. I'm not going to stream very long, guys. Do get your questions in if there are charts you guys want me to look at. We have a full moon, and just as it printed, the market rallied. Your full moon within 5 days tends to have a low come in, so it's bullish. We have the Fed announcement next week, and the day before that the inflation numbers. So we don't want this to take off like crazily before this announcement, because if we do get a 75% basis point, that would suck. CME group interest rates. Let's see if the interest rate prediction has changed overnight. So it's the CME Fed Watch tool. What is the likelihood that the Fed will change the federal rate at the upcoming FOMC rating? So it's still coming down. Yesterday it was 77, so it's now sitting at 74. If the inflation numbers come out very high, you will probably see another 75 basis point hike. But Powell in his speech did say that they are looking to start lowering it. And when the Fed says something like that, they do not tend to lie about it. Pulse Doge rallied all the way to its highs yesterday. I did say it has a little bit more room to the upside. It could have been topped out. Now we've made a third perfect double. Well, this is like a triple top, right? 1, 2, 3. So now this is a trend, right? A third rejection at the top there, and the RSI came in beautifully too. Either way, it's overvalued here. Doesn't mean it can't break out, although the RSI is pretty high. This is not the area to be going along, right? Be patient and get it when it comes down, when it eventually comes down. Okay. Let's get to, okay, so Bitcoin having a nice rally, Ethereum just striding along. The 22-year yield, not much has happened. The interest rates tend to follow this, but it looks like we have topped here. So that is why the Fed also changed their stance a bit and are starting to pivot. Now, this is not the major pivot yet. Don't get me mistaken. Don't be mistaken. This is just the first part of the pivot and not the overall pivot, right? Total market cap, not really valid now. MicroStrategies, they own a lot of Bitcoin. This is Michael Saylor's company, so it can it tends to move a lot like Bitcoin does because this company holds a major amount of Bitcoin. This is the BTC that trades on stock exchanges. Not much happening here. So the dollar failing to get above this 5-cent area. This is the reason we are rallying, as the dollar just keeps on getting, it is at resistance, right? It keeps on getting rejected at this level. There is large bullish divergences on the weekly, but obviously that will take a bit of time to break out because it is on the weekly, right? Dow Jones, not much to say there. So a nice gap up on the stock exchange. Now, I told you a few days ago, if you watched my live stream, that the zero COVID policy in China, they have now actually reversed all regulation around zero COVID. And they have started quantitative easing to start stimulating the economy. So this is quite bullish for, and this is why the market gapped up like this. Now, a gap up is just when the market opens, it opens quite higher and leaves this gap. Now, these gaps like to get filled earlier than later. So next week we might just see it come down, fill this gap, get the Fed announcement. Hopefully the inflation is good. Retest this. We need to get above this resistance line for the S&P, right? And if the S&P is bullish and we can start creating nice market structure, which is just a fancy way of saying higher lows here, some W's, this would be bullish for the rest of the market as well, right? So the Nasdaq also nice and green on the day. This is the last trading day of the week. Bitcoin dominance still in an uptrend. This just means that the altcoins will suffer a bit against Bitcoin. The VIX rallied up recently. This just shows trader or investor confidence in the market. As this rises, the market tends to dump into these rises. When it's down here, the investors have lots of confidence to start trading, right? Pulse Dogecoin we've looked at. Hex, a large sell happened yesterday. Not much to say there. We are just simply trying to get out of or above this 3-cent level. We had a very good buy a few weeks back ago. Watch Pulse Lords a few weeks. It's probably this was the 28th November. This was a very good buy down here. This is where you want to go long. It's when the RSI is down here. So we might just see a little bit consolidation, the same that we had back here. We made a good bottom, we consolidated, moved down sideways, and then quickly picked up into this area, which gave you your sell. So a little bit more consolidation perhaps, and then that final blow off, which will give you your local top. We simply need some consolidation, some sideways movement in this area, right? The longer we move sideways there, the better the base, the better the foundation that you've built, and the higher you can go in the next bull run. Still much more upside here. The RSI is below the midline. Hedron still in its reload zone, not much happening there. Hex on all of the other chains quite bullish. Icosa just chilling. Is this new lows? I think we've made new lows on Icosa, unfortunately. No, we haven't. We're still defending these lows. We have bullish divergences. No, this price isn't lower, I forgot. We have to start making higher lows here. So this price needs to be defended here. And after a massive dump like this, you need consolidation, just sideways movement, right? So not much questions today. This live stream has been 30 minutes. Please click like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Just for now, and maybe I'll stream this weekend as well, so look out for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Nice green screen for a second. I thought it was Hans the indicator. Depends which way Hans points is where the price goes, Exxon. Thank you for coming, Senzuf. I hope you have a nice day. If you're going to stream today, good luck with that.